Okay, again, I'll take your refusal to raise your hand in opposition. That means that you support this pardon of this corporation that frauded folks to the tune of $100 million.
Refusal to participate is not an expression.
Reclaiming my time.
Refusal to participate
is
not an expression one way or the other.
Do you know the rules of committee? This is my time.
I know that I am here as a member of the public.
Reclaiming my time. You are not, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
That's what I know.
You are not in order with the rules of the committee. This is my time. This is my time.
And it's our dollars.
I ask the questions and you answer, but you're too much of a coward to answer. So we're going to move on. Now,
What's up, Right View Nation? If you're tired of Washington turning serious issues into viral moments, you're in the right place. Subscribe right now, smash the like button, share this video with a friend, and drop a comment because the chaos we just watched in this hearing proves exactly why Americans don't trust the system. All right, let's get into it.
This case, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Ms. Presley from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me just begin by making this plain. Credible fraud must be investigated and prevented. Every dollar that is stolen from public programs is a dollar that is taken from a child who needs care, a senior who needs food, or a family that is already struggling to make ends meet. Ms. Robbins, I want to just begin with a basic question, and please answer yes or no. When someone is convicted of defrauding the public, do you believe that they should be held accountable?
Yes.
So if we're serious about fraud, then we also have to be serious about accountability. Ms. Robbins, do you mind just expounding, what does accountability look like to you?
We want to prosecute everyone who's committed a crime, and we want to fire officials in the agencies that are liable for allowing the failure of internal controls.
Okay, so Ms. Robbins, let me be more clear. What should happen to fraudsters who steal public dollars?
They should go to jail.
So in my opinion, accountability means restitution. It means consequences, like incarceration, that help ensure that it doesn't happen again, as a real deterrent and accountability. It means that money taken from families and the public is returned to them. But that is not the standard that is being set by Donald Trump, who is wielding his clemency authority to allow fraudsters to escape accountability altogether. Last month, my office published a clemency report titled Trump's Clemency Gap, How Trump's Pardons Are Ignoring the People Who Need Them the Most. I ask unanimous consent to enter this into the record. Thank you. Now to the witnesses who serve in the Minnesota State Legislature on the Fraud Prevention Committee, let's walk through these pardons for fraudsters, and we all care about fraud. So Ms. Robbins, Mr. Hudson, and Ms. Rarick, Donald Trump pardoned George Santos, who defrauded voters and owed them $370,000 in restitution to victims. Raise your hand if you oppose this pardon. Thank you, Mr. Ballou.
Ma'am, I would have to look at the law and the facts of the case. We cannot know the facts of all these individual cases.
Don't deflect. This is a very public case. You know who George Santos is. You know exactly what he did. We just agreed that, fraud is unacceptable. And you just talked about accountability. You said if people commit fraud and exploit the public good, that they should be incarcerated. So this is not a complicated question. So I will give you all one more opportunity. Ms. Robbins, Mr. Hudson, and Ms. Rarick, raise your hand if you oppose the pardon of George Santos.
Not playing this game.
It's not a game. It's real life. It's not a game at all. Okay, but I will take your refusal to go on record, not only as cowardice, but that you do agree with that pardon of that fraudster. Moving on. Donald Trump also gave, and this has never been done before, presidential pardons to corporations that committed fraud. One example is the crypto company BitMEX that violated U.S. law and was fined $100 million. Now raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this crypto company.
Not participating.
Thank you, Mr. Ballou. Okay, again, I'll take your refusal to raise your hand in opposition. That means that you support this pardon of this corporation that frauded folks to the tune of $100 million.
Refusal to participate is not an expression.
Reclaiming my time.
To participate is not an expression one way or the other.
Do you know the rules of committee? This is my time.
I know that I am here as a member of the public.
Reclaiming my time. You are not, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
That's what I know.
You are not in order with the rules of the committee. This is my time. This is my time. I
it's
asked
our
the
dollars.
questions and you answer, but you're too much of a coward to answer. So we're going to move on. Now, yesterday was the 5-year anniversary, and I want to note of the January 6th insurrection. And on Donald Trump's first day in office, he pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists, including Brian Christopher Mock, who's from Minnesota. Are y'all going to say you don't know who that is? He's from Minnesota. Now, he kicked, shoved, and threw a flagpole at police officers, law enforcement that you claim to support. And he did all of that in the name of fraud. He was an election denier. So an election fraud lie. Now, he claims he did these things in the name of patriotism, but really he's just a criminal. So raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this Minnesota individual.
Ma'am, this grandstanding nonsense
This is not grandstanding.
exactly
This is
what
accountability.
Minnesotans hate about D.C.
This is accountability, and you are hypocrites. So again, I will take your
Thanks for
refusal to
demonstrating my opening
Mr.
statement.
Chairman,
reclaiming
order,
my
decorum.
time.
She's off the
Reclaiming
rails.
my time. I'm not off the rails, please.
You are
Enough
totally
with your
off the
tropes.
rails.
Nancy,
Order.
enough
Off the
with your
rails.
tropes. Give me
Order.
my time back.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
If Republicans
I didn't
were
come here to be
serious
accused
about reclaiming
by somebody
who was supposed to
expired.
serve me.
Restoring
You
the
Presley,
time.
your time is
Reclaiming
and
my
my
time.
constituents.
You have no time left.
Reclaiming
You're
Get to
my
overtime.
accuse me of things in
time.
exchange.
You're overtime.
You're out of
Order.
time.
Reclaiming my
You're out of
time.
time.
Order. There's no
You're
time
out of
left.
time. We're done
You're
here.
out of
We're
time.
done.
Touch in out of time.
At least 10
Mr. Chair,
seconds.
she's out of time.
Time's
Restoring
expired.
Out of order and
My
out of
is
time.
expired.
Ms. Presley, you've
You all
already
are very
secured your
unserious.
MSNBC spot tonight.
I'm not
Now, your time's
I'm
required.
looking for
Chair
accountability,
recognizes Ms.
and you
Mace
want to
from
You're
run
gonna be
from the
so
South
good on
Carolina.
MSNBC.
Chair
of your
recognizes
king
Ms. Mace.
and this administration.
Thank you, Mr.
Chair
Chairman.
recognizes Ms.
And
Mace.
Mr. Chairman, I agree. She's
don't
going to be
care
a great
about
host on
hungry children. You wouldn't be
MSNBC.
cutting
This is
back.
my
I
time.
wouldn't want to jump
I
in front of Ms.
reclaim my
Mace if I
time.
were you, Ms.
I
Presley.
reclaim my time. This is my time.
I wouldn't want to interrupt Ms. Mace. It's her time. Chair recognizes Ms. Oh,
Mr. Chair,
You're out of order.
she did not get all of her time.
Mr. Chairman,
She wants to
still out of
insult us for
order.
10 more seconds.
What do
your
we have
time
to
is
do to
expired.
get this
Chair-
woman in order?
Her time is expired. Chair recognizes
You're
Ms.
going to
Mace.
be great on TV. You're really good. No, baby, you're not. No, baby, you're not. You are not in order. You're out of order. Goodbye. You're done.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, it's my
Chair
5
recognizes
minutes.
Ms. Mace, and
Are we
we're-
good here?
got
Mr.
it.
Chairman, thank you. As I listen to the witnesses answer questions that I am struck by the truly breathtaking amount of fraud, the scope and scale perpetrated against the American people by Somalians in Minnesota.
So the hearing starts with the standard line. Fraud must be investigated and prevented. Great. That's common sense. Every stolen taxpayer dollar hurts families, seniors, kids. No argument there. But within seconds, the so-called oversight turns into a performance. Not a hunt for facts, not a policy discussion, not even a serious cross-examination. It becomes a made-for-TV routine. Answer yes or no. Then, raise your hand if you oppose this. Then, raise your hand if you oppose that. Let me tell you something. If your strategy is raise your hand politics, you're not trying to fix fraud. You're trying to create a clip. Look, I'm a right-wing patriot. I believe in law, order, and consequences. Fraudsters should face real punishment. But I also believe in something that's disappearing in Washington: due process and facts. If you want witnesses to weigh in on a case, you ask, what was the conviction? What were the charges? What's the legal context? What does the evidence show? What is the scope of the pardon or clemency? Instead, they're being ordered to publicly pick a side on a list of names like it's a game show. That's not oversight. That's coercion disguised as accountability. Now, do I like that the witnesses refuse to answer? No. If you're going to testify, you should be willing to speak clearly. But I also see what they were resisting: being forced into a 3-second headline that gets clipped, posted, and used to destroy them. Washington loves the clip more than the truth. Then we get the big moral lecture. Accountability means jail, restitution, deterrence. Again, fine. But here's what drives me crazy. The people screaming accountability in hearings are often the same people who go soft when fraud happens under policies they support, or when the bureaucracy fails on their watch. Fraud doesn't have a party. Corruption doesn't have a party. And taxpayers don't care who's wearing the red tie or the blue tie. They want the stealing to stop. So if we're going to talk accountability, let's be consistent. Prosecute fraudsters where the law applies. Get restitution to victims and taxpayers. Fire officials who knowingly allowed the breakdown of controls. Fix the systems that made it possible. That's how adults handle it. This is where the whole thing goes off the rails. We've got a witness saying refusing to participate isn't an answer, one way or the other. We've got the member insisting it is her time, and she can demand the response she wants. We've got shouting over rules, procedure, and order. And then the chair steps in, time gets cut, voices rise, insults start flying. Listen, this is why Americans roll their eyes at Congress. Because while people struggle with inflation, bills, rent, crime, and border chaos, our leaders are busy auditioning for their next TV segment. If your goal is to get famous, you should be in Hollywood, not in a congressional hearing. This wasn't about fraud anymore. It became personal. People start making jokes about TV appearances, mocking each other, trading insults. That's the moment everything becomes crystal clear. This is performance politics. And you know what performance politics creates? Distrust, division, and zero solutions. Because when everyone is trying to win the moment, nobody is trying to win for the American people. Then comes the January 6th pivot. Here's my position, straight and simple. Peaceful protest is American. Questioning government is American. Holding leaders accountable is American. But if anyone assaulted police, threw things at officers, or attacked people, that is not patriotism. That's criminal behavior. You don't get to hide behind the flag while breaking the law. At the same time, politicians use January 6th like a permanent weapon to smear millions of Americans who had nothing to do with violence. They inflate it, twist it, and keep it alive because it's useful for fundraising and control. So yes, punish violent acts. And yes, stop treating half the country like enemies for criticizing the system. If this hearing was serious, it would focus on the mechanics of fraud. A. Where did the money leak from? B. What controls failed? C. Which agencies ignored warning signs? D. What reforms stop it from happening again? E. Who gets fired when they enabled the failure? That's what working Americans want to see. Receipts, solutions, and results, not screaming matches. Because the people paying the price for fraud aren't politicians. It's you. It's me. It's every taxpayer who keeps getting told there's no money, while billions slip through broken systems. Right View Nation, here's the big takeaway. When politicians turn hearings into viral brawls, fraud becomes a prop. Accountability becomes a slogan. And the truth becomes optional. And that's why we have to keep watching, keep calling it out, and keep demanding better. Because if we don't, they'll keep doing it. If you're fired up after watching that circus, do me a favor. Subscribe to Right View Nation, hit like, share this video, and comment below. Tell me, was that real accountability or just political theater? I'll see you in the next one.